Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am going to make an arrangement in a beautiful bowl. We actually, I think someone just brought this bowl and left it with us. Or I picked it up from a yard sale. I'm not positive which one, but it's a beautiful bowl that has, it's a china piece that has a beautiful lid. So it would be perfect for a casserole or a dish or, you know, something really nice on your table. It has some really pretty flowers on it. Anyway, I thought that we would make a pretty arrangement in this container. So I have some fresh floral foam tucked in that I am going to take and tape in. But where I got the arrangement, my idea for this arrangement was this book called Fresh. So it is a book written by Sybil Brooke Sylvester, and it has some of the most beautiful flowers in it. And so I was flipping through trying to find some inspiration, and I found a beautiful picture. It's all roses, and I thought that we would do just a mounded arrangement of all roses. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to put that together. So I have taken it's about 2/3 of a block of fresh floral foam. It has been soaked, and I am going to tape it into place. So this is a clear waterproof tape, or it's a clear floral tape. I don't think it's waterproof, but it's a floral tape, and I am going to take and tape this foam into place. Now, anytime you're working with foam and say the arrangement's going to be delivered or moved, you always want to secure your mechanics. And so that's the reason I've decided to go ahead and tape this into place. So I just kind of crisscrossed. Now the reason I'm using clear tape, you can absolutely use the green floral tape that's waterproof. You can use that, but it's really nice when you have a clear tape and it doesn't show on my container. So I have filled the reservoir with fresh water, and next what I'm going to do is add roses. So let me show you some of the beautiful roses that we have in. So these are some roses that we had in our cooler. This is an arrangement that I'm doing just for fun. So these are some roses that I had in my cooler that they are about 3 weeks old. So they are pretty old. I mean, they are older roses. So I don't sell roses when they get this old, but they are still very fresh. They're very firm, and they're still beautiful. But I wanted to make a fun arrangement using some older roses that I had in my cooler. We're going to use this pretty green tea, and then I cannot remember the name of this beautiful peach. But it's I think it's a shimmer, a peach shimmer rose, which is so pretty. And then I also have some more fun things down in here. So I'm going to start with my roses. Now I'm just going to take this rose, I'm going to use my floral knife and cut that stem, and then I'm going to press it right down in to this floral foam. Now anytime you're using floral foam and fresh flowers, you always want to make sure that you insert that flower fairly deep down into that foam. If you barely push that flower down into the foam, it's going to work its way out. It won't stay in place. So be sure to insert it very deep down into that foam. Now I'm going to take this shimmer rose, and I'm just kind of opening that bloom up just a little bit. And how I'm doing that is I am taking my finger and running it in and out of those rose petals just to kind of open it up a little bit. Give it a fresh cut and press that rose down into that foam. If there are any rose petals that don't look pretty, go ahead and pull those off. It's not hurting that rose at all for you to remove those rose petals. So just be sure to remove those petals that don't look pretty. And you can see I'm just kind of going all the way around
arrangements or
Yeah, so whatever the flower is,
For the-
um,
two more versions of it, but not
take it to my flower, but some of them have flowers.
just small.
So I think you can do
And if you wanted to, you can absolutely, if it has pretty foliage left on that stem, take that stem that has that pretty foliage and tuck it down into that. And so you're still using the greenery that came with the rose. I'm removing any of those rose petals that have bumps or bruises. And I'm taking, you can see how I'm just taking that stem and cutting it into smaller pieces and tucking the stem with the leaves just kind of throughout this arrangement. It's just a nice way to save money, number one, and to use something that would otherwise go into the trash. So with any arrangement that you're using all the same type of flower, you're just going to work all the way around. Now I'm using two different colors, so I'm being sure to try to put those colors all the way through. So it's not too much green, but not too much peach. And the wonderful part about leaving the foliage on the stems is that when you insert that stem down into that water, that stem is still drinking the water. So it's still giving water to that foliage. Now when I say that this is a mounded arrangement, of course, it looks kind of like a mound. It's just kind of a rounded off arrangement, kind of in a mound shape. These roses have some thorns. Okay. So there are our pretty roses, just a really pretty mound of roses. Now to add a little bit of interest to this arrangement, I'm going to come in with straw flower. Look at the beautiful colors of the straw flower. Now if you look at my china, it has a little bit of a blue and a green and some pinks. And so I thought we would add a little bit of straw flower. So I'm just going to take my stems. Now the only thing about straw flower is fabulous, by the way, and it dries wonderful. If you listen, if you touch it, it kind of sounds like and feels like straw. But it's very interesting because it is definitely fresh. Now the only problem though is often the foliage doesn't always look pretty on it. So I like to go ahead and remove that foliage. I'm going to take my knife and I am going to cut my stems really short because I'm just adding those right down in to my arrangement. So just cut those stems. You have to be a little careful with straw flower because their heads are kind of heavy on those stems. So sometimes their heads, like you'll see, look how heavy he is. He's kind of heavy down there. So I tried to insert him down into that foam pretty deep, but there we go. So I'm just taking each stem, removing any of that foliage. Now, how you're going to dry this straw flower is you'll just take and cut his head completely off the stem. And you'll just lay him in a container and just let him dry. And then to be able to use him, I often will put a wire through his little head. And then you can use him in a corsage, or you can use it in any kind of floral arrangement. but you're using him in his dried state instead of his fresh. So he doesn't need water, which is nice. So I'm just taking these stems and I'm pushing them right down into that foam. Now the one thing is that the straw flower stem is just a little tender. It's not as sturdy as the roses were, so you need to be kind of careful when inserting them into that foam. Some of them are a little more spindly than like the roses. They really are so pretty. Look at that pop of pink added in with that peach and that green. I love the different texture that the straw flower adds to this arrangement too. It's just different, something different. Different shape, different form.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so there's our pretty straw flower added in. Now, straw flower does come in lots of colors. You can see a deeper pink and kind of a creamy color. And I love this one, which is kind of a melon color, just a really pretty melon color. So next what we're going to do is I think we will add just I don't know about the baby's breath. I think we're going to add just a touch of foliage. So we're going to take a little bit of eucalyptus. Now our picture didn't show the eucalyptus added. Okay, so to finish our arrangement, we're going to add just a touch of seeded eucalyptus. I just think it needs just a touch of softness. I do have baby's breath over here, but I think the eucalyptus would be just what I need. And I love that this has the little seeds on it, so it gives us a little bit of touch of texture too, which is really nice. So I'm taking my eucalyptus and I'm pinching it in smaller pieces. So eucalyptus comes in a pretty good sized stem, and so I'm just taking each individual piece and cutting it in or pinching it into smaller pieces. You can absolutely cut it, but I just find this is just as easy, just to pinch it off and tuck it right around in this arrangement. And what it's going to do is just kind of finish off those edges, and you'll see it just kind of gives us a little bit of finishing. And I love the pink straw flower. I think it was the perfect addition to this container and to this arrangement. And the texture just makes me happy. Anything that has a different texture is always fun to me. Anything that's just a little different is really nice. And I do love the fact that our little rose, our rose foliage works perfect to give us that pretty foliage, and it didn't cost extra money, which to me is wonderful. If you don't spend tons of money on the foliage, then maybe you can add an extra flower or so. And this is our finished mounded arrangement in a compote container. And again, the book that I found my inspiration from is called Fresh. And it is a book written by Sybil Brooke Sylvester, and she has some of the most amazing pictures in this book. So if you ever need just a pretty book to look at, perfect for your coffee table, this is a wonderful book to pick up. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, we would love to answer any questions you might have. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to our channel if you have not already done that. Guys, have a great day, and we will see you soon.